The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised. Okay, alright. Okay, let's do this. Hey, everybody. What are you laughing about over there? Jesus.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ink and Paint Club podcast for this week. My name is JD, and with me is my ever-lovely ginger friend, Mr. Kyle.
What up?
What is up indeed? That is the question. And Matt's here too.
Hey everyone, thanks for Toonamiing in.
Are you just gonna be our pun man now?
I would like to try to be. It's bad enough.
Kyle's usually big on puns. You're challenging for the throne here.
That's my fucking title.
I'm gonna usurp you, motherfucker.
Well, before this turns into a royal feud, yes, we are talking about the recent Toonami event titled The Forge. We have talked about all, if not most, of all the other Toonami events previously on this show. So new one's out, and we're gonna talk about it.
You talked about them when I wasn't around, and I haven't seen one of these things since the very first one, so I have no idea what was going on. But I still watched it, and I still enjoyed it, but I couldn't make... I mean, the plot's simple enough that I guess it doesn't need to be, Well, anyway, I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've got another Toonami event. We get one of these... We've been getting it a little more frequently the last couple of years.
He said it, 12 to 14 months. He said it.
Yeah, he did say it. It's like, seems like these happen every 12 to 14 months. But, essentially this little mini series was Toonami wanted to rebrand a little bit, its visuals a little bit, update everything. So we end up getting a new Tom, and Tom gets a new spaceship, and the Toonami logo changes again. Toonami's been sitting on Tom 5 for last couple of years, so it was about time for a change anyway.
So was this not one of those things where because I guess the last 4 of them have all been since Toonami came back as a part of Adult Swim, right? Every other one that happened before that was back during Toonami's original run.
That sounds about right.
So from what I understood, the original events, every time they did one of those, it was whenever they wanted to do a sort of rebranding of like the character of Tom and like the look of the of Toonami itself. So have they not been doing that the last few ones that they did for on Adult Swim?
I don't think so, really. Because they did like the Intruder 2 and 3. And if I remember right, that all had Tom 5 in them. And then I think they had another one that I'm blanking on right now. But they brought back Tom 3. I think they called him like Tom 3.5, which is basically the big bulky muscly Tom. They brought him back for a while, and then they rebranded him as Tom 5, which we've had for a while, but in this one, obviously, something happens to Tom, so he has to get a new body, and he's gets fixed up because apparently he's had a busted arm for a while. Because what happened in like one of the previous events, like he busted his arm or something.
Yeah, they talk a lot about his arm in this.
Yeah, he's had a replacement arm for a while, and he's kind of salty about it. But he finally got a new arm, and he was all happy about it.
He's got a bunch of arm trauma.
Yeah, I just
or
thought
you
it
could
was
call
fun.
it trauma.
All right, man. I did think it was funny that after he gets rebuilt, Sarah's like trying to explain to him like what they need to do, and he's just like fascinated by the fact he has 2 regular arms again. But yeah, so this event is Tom is brought in, or like basically drug onto this space station, which turns out to be a factory for Toms. Apparently, Tom comes from this alien race, and they build these Tom robots to be basically drones for work and stuff. But they didn't really get into it about how Tom is like not a drone. Perhaps that will show up later.
Yeah, what do they call them? They're because like the main alien dude is calling them grubs. Is that actually
I
what
think
they're
that's what it is.
designated as, or
Yeah.
were they called Tom units?
I think they're called grubs because like Tom, like he's called Tom because it's an anagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like his classification is like grub, or maybe that's just like a derogatory term. The
It reminded me
guy
of
was-
yeah, it kind of reminded me of do you remember that episode of Teen Titans where that alien's calling a starfire is it Trog the whole time?
yeah.
Yeah.
The
me of that.
Teen Titans episode where we learned about racism.
Yeah.
Racism.
Oh, Kyle. I did think it was kind of a nice nod. And I don't know the actor's name for the life of me. But the actor voicing all the aliens was the same actor who used to do all the Toonami interstitials and commercials back in the day.
Now I thought that was Peter Cullen, but that's not who did the alien. I don't think.
I sweir.
Or there was another announcer at some point then.
Yeah,
but I remember
there
like
was.
during their original run.
Right. I remember there was a guy, and I especially remember when they were running contests. There was a guy, and he sounds just like, he sounds just like that. And I swear, hold on, I'm looking this up.
Yeah, because the alien sounded familiar. He sounded familiar to me too, but I couldn't place the name.
Let's see, voiceover career. Hold on, guys, we're
taking a detour.
Oh, he was Jet in Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, that makes sense. I was thinking like, yeah, because obviously Tom is Steve Blum, so
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's also kind of funny.
Jeez.
But I could have swore he was one of the Toonami commercial announcers. Maybe he did. I don't know. Whatever. Who knows? Probably. But anyway. So yeah, this is. I mean, I find these little events they do just kind of fun little additions. Like I obviously don't think like Tom and Sarah need like their own like kind of episodic show going on. Because I don't know how much lore you can really pack out of these guys, but
enough for 8 events of them.
Yeah. But I just do I do enjoy these little things that kind of give like Steve Blue and just a little time to play around with the character a little bit, since all they do is just like introduce shows and do game reviews and what have you. So I don't know. It's just nice to kind of have the characters flesh out a little bit, but obviously not have to go like into a full blown like show or movie or anything.
Yeah. Now, because I just watched these once all the parts were out and they were edited together into one like 22-minute episode. Were you watching these live at all? Like when they're actually aired on Toonami or?
So I don't have cable.
Okay.
So no, I was not watching these live on television. But Toonami has been nice enough to upload all of the basically. I think like the day after they would upload it to their YouTube channel.
Because I wasn't sure if they did that thing where I seem to recall, and I could be wrong because it's been so long, but because the only other of these invasion events I saw was the very first one, which I think it was Intruder 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I correct me if I'm wrong if you happen to remember this, but I think when they aired the Toonami stuff, like when they still were on the ship, like doing the bumps for the shows and all that, like I think it was interconnected with the shorts as they were happening. So like
Mm.
Tom wasn't actually there to present it because the shows and stuff because he was busy during the events of what was going on. I'm not sure if they did anything like that for this because I'm not watching on cable. So
Yeah, I'd have to look into that. I'm not really sure.
or if they did that for any of the other previous ones.
I want to say I doubt it, only because Toonami does not have a big budget. They're like very vocal about their lack of a budget.
Which you can kind of tell by watching this too. Not to say that
Yeah.
it's not completely serviceable for what they were trying to do, but it's obvious that they had a budget to work with.
Yeah, because I think they've slowly been gaining a little more traction over the last couple of years. I know there was a big groundswell when Toonami came back, and I think it kind of died off for a little bit. But they've been slowly getting more time back, because their their time slot on Saturdays is grown, it's shrunk, and I think it's grown back again because I think they're on from 11 to 4:30 now.
Oh wow!
They used to be on at 10. But
when they came back, they only had an hour, or 2 hours or something, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, they've definitely had some ups and downs, but I think that the fact they've been doing some of these events since it's been back really shows how much Cartoon Network and has faith and sees the fan base for the Toonami brand. I mean, so much that Tom is finally getting a Funko Pop.
Yeah, he's getting one of his old the original one, right? Tom 1, the Bomberman looking one.
Yeah, which I kind of hope that they make, if they're gonna make a Tom Funko, that they're gonna make more of them. Because Tom 1 is fine. I know he's iconic and stuff, but he's not my favorite Tom. Tom 2 or 5 are my favorite ones.
I like the first one. I don't like the third one. I don't think. Whatever.
Yeah, I always feel like Tom, at least in his kind of personality and stuff, he strikes me as this kind of little skinny dude. So when they decide to make this giant, beefy, muscly looking robot man, I just feel like it didn't fit him at all.
I mean, the one that absolutely doesn't fit him.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about 4.
Was that the one with the face?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about.
That was the one that actually killed Toonami, right?
The pixel.
Yeah. Though I do like that when Toonami came back, they retconned, so those are not the same Tom. Tom 4 is a completely different robot.
Good.
Because it's they have the new Tom. He's talking to Tom 4, and he's just I don't know. I'm just glad that they basically retconned him out of existence. Because that was just a poor choice. But
I don't think that he has a poor design, but it's weird to go from what came before it to go straight to that.
I think it's a poor design personally, but
poor design. That was some goofy shit right there.
It kind of was. Kyle, you've been kind of quiet. What did you think of this? You've been on all these other Toonami reviews that I force you on.
Yeah, I mean, what to think? It was a thing. It sure happened.
Did you have any glowing comments? Any critiques? What are we feeling here?
I mean, they're okay. They still feel like early 90s CG in a sense, even though you were saying that they don't really have the budget. Yeah, you can kind of tell the CG is not all that great, but it doesn't matter because it works for what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like his design, and pretty much, when they're doing a fucking event, he's gonna get a new body and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit about the worm and all that.
Yeah, he lost his worm friend. Georgia left with the drones.
Yeah, so this is one of those things that I was a little confused about. Was that an on-screen character since he's been back, or was that something he got in another event? Or
he got that in another event, because there was a whole bit where they got trapped on a planet for a while, and they were using like this little hut they found as the base until they figure out how to get off the planet. And then I think Intruder 2, it's 2, or I'm pretty sure it's 2 where they got Georgia from. And then they find out that the basically the hut they've been living in is actually a giant spaceship, so they turn it on and go back into space.
Oh, that's the ship that they have now? Or
yeah,
they had?
yeah. Well, the Vindication, which is the big ship that the grubs leave on at the end, they didn't realize it was a complete ship because it was buried underground.
Gotcha.
So they're like, shit, what does this do? And they just launched the ship back into space. But it turns out that it belongs to these Forge people and these weird, gross alien dudes. But yeah, I kind of agree with Kyle that, like, yeah, the animation's not great on this. I do think, like, in terms of like texture detailing and environmental stuff, I think that's definitely been stepped up a lot, especially since the reboot years ago. I do think the character animation is pretty limited, even for CG
Robots.
stuff, right? Well, I'm just saying, like, the fight scenes and stuff. It's like there isn't a lot of weight to it. But like Kyle said, I don't think it really matters because it's just meant to be this like short little quick thing. I mean, cut all together, this is all 20 minutes. So
the poor animation or the limited budget, whatever, how it feels still feels nostalgic in the sense that it still fits that time period of when Toonami was popular, which I kind of dig.
Yeah, because maybe that's the case. Maybe they kind of lean into it because it's like, yeah, maybe we don't have the budget to really polish this up to where it could be really, really great, but it falls in line with all those old ones that were like, CG animation was still pretty new and still kind of expensive. So it's like the fact that they got anything done at all back in the day was kind of a miracle.
And then the thing too, like, that's not really something that has a big studio behind it either.
Mm-hmm.
Big team or anything like that. I don't even think those people are credited, are they?
I didn't see any kind of credits on this, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm sure they outsource the animation to somewhere, but I'm sure they don't put a lot of money into it. But they get a handful of animations they can play between shows. Occasionally they'll get some new animation. I don't know if they still like recycle animation like they used to, or it's like anytime, like, I mean, that's half the reason Tom doesn't have a mouth or any kind of face, because you could just easily have him doing the same pose with a different dialogue over it.
Which is a smart decision.
Oh yeah, like the fact making Tom a robot with a helmet on was probably the smartest decision they could have made, which was baffling when they actually like gave him an articulated face and like, guys, you're just like killing.
You're making way too much work for yourself. Yeah,
making too much work for yourself. But no, I'm gonna have to get used to Tom 6, just like I did with Tom 5. But Tom 5 really grew on me. In fact, like I said, on a good day, it's a tie between 2 and 5. But I think 5 is probably what I would lean toward my favorite Tom design, because I think they really did a good job with that design. But I'm sure Tom 6 will grow on me in time, like they always do, except for 4. That will never grow on me. But yeah, it was just like the other ones. It was a good short little thing, kind of lets you delve into the Toonami world a little bit. Yeah, it was fine. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoy when they do these things, so I always look forward to whenever they do it.
The same world as Space Ghost.
Yeah, man.
True. Yeah. We never got one of these total immersion events with Moltar, and I feel like we were cheated.
Poor Moltar. He did.
I'm still waiting on the Meguzi total immersion event.
Oh God.
When am I going to get our Meguzi event?
I think even Cartoon Network's forgotten about that. Sold it to the government with megas.
I think Meguzi was straight French animation, Because I remember when I was in France at the time, they were actually playing Maguzi dubbed in French. So
Weird.
I don't think that they actually did the animation for that one. I think it was a carryover.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. But do you guys have anything else you want to say about the Forge before we wrap up here?
Bring back Fat Bomberman Tom.
I like that one.
Tom 6.
Fat Bomberman Tom is dead.
Or whatever it is. Tom 7, Tom 6.
I thought you meant the first one. I like the first one a lot.
No, that's what I meant. But bring back that design for the one after this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, good job, Toonami team. You done well. There you go, guys. There's a review of the latest Toonami event. Let us know what you thought about that and what you think of new Tom. The design and all that good stuff. So, thanks for listening, and we will catch you again soon for some holiday fun. We'll see you then.
Yeah.
See you then.
Thanks for listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. Join our Discord to chat with us, and subscribe to our Patreon for some cool bonuses. Links are in the description. We'll see you next time.